All right. I want to do a quick lightning round with you. So I've got a
Oh
few
joy.
sort of security technologies or categories, let's call them. So I'll say the buzzword security category, and perhaps maybe then you can give us your take on how you view it. Do you think it can actually help? Maybe any gut reactions. All right. Sound fair?
All right. Sure.
All right. First one, supply chain security.
Man, I think this is key. We call it TPRM or third party risk management. I'm always shocked how poorly people do this. You're putting your crown jewels in other people's hands and you're doing no risk assessment on them. I think it's crazy. But I think the number one thing done wrong with TPRM is they treat everybody the same. To me, you have to break them up into categories, have tier one, tier two, tier three, different SIGs associated, different audits associated, different requirements associated. And I'll give one little trick of the trade. If you think the cleaning crew is the lowest tier, you've got that backwards as well. Cleaning crews in my world and in your world should be treated just like you treat people who actually have access to your crown jewels, because they do. They're in your offices every day.
Attack surface management. This even is being called ASM now.
I still haven't figured out what attack surface management means and why it's there, because let's be blunt, everything, whether it's exposed to the internet or inside of firewalls, using routable, using non-routable IP space, is using system or operating systems that have never had a vulnerability or using one that's had massive vulnerabilities. That they're all attack surfaces. And the other problem I have with ASM is most companies that are talking about it tie that to assets and forget that, Jake, you're an ASM. Your body, your mind, you in yourself are a massive attack surface, and they seem to forget that.
All right, here's the next one. And you and I and the old, what's old is new again and rebranded. So this is the rebranded version of honeypots, deception technology.
This is a dangerous world. I mean, honeypots in themselves were dangerous, and there's a real good value for honeypots. And I know a lot of organizations, including us, that use them for certain things. But deception tech today is something I would not spend my money on. There are plenty of other things that I think organizations should be doing with their resources and with their money than trying to trick adversaries. Why expose yourself to risk that is not needed? Why are you trying to put something out there that makes it look like you're doing something you're not? To me, you should be focusing your effort and your money and your time on doing the basics and doing them well, not trying to deceive people.
All right, last one. This one's a doozy. Zero trust.
I love zero trust. I've given so many speeches on this. I love it, but I hate it when it's tied specifically to tech, because again, I think you're coming at it wrong. Zero trust to me is a mindset. It's a mindset. It is changing how we think about the world, and actually, it's not new. It's changing it to go back to the way things were early on. If you think about some of the old lattice models capabilities, some of the way cyber was originally created, and you start in a place where we don't trust anybody, even an authenticated user. And if you change it and stop worrying about the tech that is sold alongside or the companies that try to brand themselves as zero trust, and you worry about the psychology of it against psychology background, I think it can be very powerful. And you could start doing things like, dynamic provisioning inside of an environment. I'll give a simple use case. 5 years ago, 10 years ago, if you showed up to an office and you had access to 100 computers on your network and 20 applications, when you logged in the morning and put your username and password in, you had access to everything at that time. And everything you did was considered a known good, right? You were a known good because you authenticated. Your system was a known good because a valid credential was used with it. And let's say I tied it to your badging system. It was a known good because we saw you, Jake, come into the office. For me, taking everything else aside, zero trust is simply getting rid of all of those known goods. Yes, you authenticated, but it needs to be continual. Yes, you're doing what you normally do every day, but it needs to be scrutinized to make sure there's no variance to it. And, again, we could spend an hour on this one topic, but if you start to look at it from the psychological side and the human side, zero trust can be very powerful. If you come at it from a buy my product and you will be zero trust, people like you, people like me, we're probably sitting off to the side laughing hysterically and wondering how you're going to figure out the ROI on that.
All right. Well, thank you for tuning in. As always, we'll have more details and links in the show notes. Don't forget to subscribe wherever you get your podcasts, leave a review, all that sort of stuff. And you can learn more about RBS at our website. Thank you for tuning in.